The boy had been following me since Chancellorsville. When I ran from that bloody battle, I ran without thought. All I knew was what my instincts told me. Go east and go north. Go home. After a week of this, we reached the Palisades, the sheer wall of cliffs at Englewood overlooking the Hudson River in New Jersey, where I would follow the river north and home. With the river and the cliffs at my back, I turned to face him. "Hey, if you're going to be here anyways," I said, "then you may as well join me." I threw the tobacco pouch at him and raised the whiskey bottle to my lips. He was just a kid. He'd come from the Stonewall Brigade, the troop of students that had followed the great man from the Virginia Military Institute, and on into battle before most of them could shave. When Stonewall went down at Chancellorsville, the boy no longer had a reason. General Jackson was his cause and his country, and without him there seemed no reason to fight on. My reasons were simpler. I was scared, I was tired, and I could no longer stand the thought of killing even one more man. And so without much thought, I ran, and I kept running until I could no longer hear the screams or smell the smoke of the cannons. The boy asked me why I ran, and I said, because I couldn't fly. He nodded like he understood. It was good to have somebody to talk to again, even a rep. I passed him the whiskey. At night, as we set the fire to blazing, we heard a rustle off to the right. I saw his eyes first, and Reb raised his gun at the sight of a black man in the woods with a gun. Charlie had escaped when his master was killed by a Union raiding party. He had no family left, so he just wandered away, keeping out of sight, heading for a town he had heard of called Nyack, where the Underground Railroad was doing the work of the righteous. As we sat on either side of the fire, Johnny Reb took out his harmonica and started playing Dixieland. Well, I may have run, but I was still a Union man through and through, so I started in on Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. Charlie must have felt left out, because he started in on a song I had never heard. It sounded like a slave song, and it was about how all my trials, Lord, would soon be over. At one point I stopped and said, "Listen, boys, if we're going to get along, let's do this thing righteous, one at a time, and maybe we can all learn something." So the three of us, as unlikely a group if ever there was one, an old preacher deserter, a young boy deserter, and a runaway slave, sitting around a campfire at the top of a cliff over the Hudson River on a cloudless night, sang Dixie and the battle hymn and all my trials. When we were done and the woods fell quiet again, I looked at them and their faces were wet and shiny just like mine. I passed the bottle to Charlie, and nobody said anything for a long while.